And welcome back to Inside the Valley on this Sunday morning. Well, as I mentioned before the break there, it is Diabetes Awareness Month here, the month of November. It's a very serious situation and topic here in the Valley because a lot of people currently have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Some people are living without even knowing that they have diabetes. Talk a little bit more about the month of November and Diabetes Awareness Month and what folks here in the Valley, some professionals are trying to do to make sure that people are aware of diabetes. We have two experts on the show. We have Richard Gillette, and we have Jessica Corona. Thank you guys both so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so Richard, you're with the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association, correct?
Yes.
You guys are very involved with diabetes and helping people out here in the Valley who have diabetes, either type 1 or type 2. Why is it so important for you guys to get involved, really kind of get the message out about diabetes, especially to folks here in the Valley?
Because it's a huge problem globally, but especially here in the Valley, something close to about like a fourth of the people here in the Valley have it, and half of those people don't even know they have it. So,
what are some of the repercussions of somebody who has diabetes and they've been living with it for, say, years, but they've noticed here and there some health problems along the way? What can eventually happen to them where it's like, whoa, now I need to go to the doctor and get checked out?
the symptoms can be pretty vague at first, but as it progresses, the disease can get very serious. It can lead to blindness or kidney problems, loss of limbs, some pretty scary stuff.
And early symptoms, early signs that maybe you may need to go get checked out are what? I know one is constant urination.
Constant urination, thirstiness, always being hungry. There's some other more vague symptoms like tiredness and like tingling sensations, things like that.
Now, a lot of people, they don't really know the difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2. Can we go over those real quickly?
Sure, absolutely. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder of the pancreas, the pancreatic cells, where the pancreas doesn't produce insulin, which is what is needed for the cells in our body to take in the glucose. Type 2 is a resistance to that insulin. So similar, but not quite.
Now, are you born with type 1 diabetes?
I believe you can be, the propensity for it is innate, it's born.
Right, okay. And type 2 diabetes, I mean, you can get that at any time, and there are several things that can lead up to that, right? That can be obviously your nutrition, bad eating habits, that kind of stuff. And consistently taking in a lot of sugary foods, I would imagine.
Exactly.
Okay, now, as I said earlier, it's Diabetes Awareness Month. What are some of the things, I know, Jessica, you work with Dr. Monzi and Associates. So I know that you guys are always involved with this, especially Dr. Yaji. Tell me some of the things that are happening this month.
This month we do have November 14th, we have the diabetes screening going on in different locations of the area. We do have November 16th at 6 p.m. we have the McAllen Public Library. We do have a panel of experts going in there. It's free to everybody. So they can go in, they have cardiologists, nephrologists, ophthalmologists. You have questions being answered there, and everything will be for free there.
Wow.
November 19th, we do have Zumba for Break a Sweat for Diabetes. It's a cardio workout. It's at 9:30 to 11:30 at Sherryland Banworth Gym. It's $15 a ticket. Those do need to be purchased in advance. And they can call the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association at 782-1900.
Okay. Now, as I was saying earlier, I know Dr. Yaji's very involved with this topic, especially amongst other things here in the Valley. When people think of going to get screened for diabetes, they're kind of like, oh, well, what happens? Do I have to give blood, or how long is it going to take? Tell me about the screening process or being tested for it.
We do have there with Dr. Manzariaji, we do have wellness screens done Wednesday mornings from 7 to 8. It's $20. We do prefer them to be fasting. We do provide them with glucometers if they do come out positive for diabetes. We would like them to be checked. Other than that.
So, you know, people are afraid to go and get tested. They are afraid, you know, hey, if I've been diagnosed with diabetes, really there's nothing else I can do anymore. My life completely changes. Nowadays, with the upgrade in medicines and stuff, that is completely false. I know that there's a lot of pro athletes and people you know who are continuously doing aggressive work, talking about athletes, football players and whatnot, who do have diabetes. So if you go, you get tested, you're diagnosed with diabetes, you can still do normal things with your life.
That is correct.
Absolutely.
Right. Like, so when people say, oh, you have got diabetes, you can't do anything more, that's completely false.
Everything can be controlled now. Dr. Mazur does have The Jackson Clinic, we have an obesity clinic. It's combined with South Texas Health Systems. So they have weight loss programs there too.
Okay. And what about nutrition classes? Because I know nutrition is so important. This is a great way. If you do have diabetes, nutrition is imperative in your daily routine, that you eat properly, you stay away from, say, sodas and chips and everything that's really bad for you, and you stick to more kind of like fruits and vegetables, certain types of fruits. What about nutrition classes? Are nutrition classes offered as well?
Nutrition classes are offered at the Jackson office, yes, and that's included with your office visit.
Okay.
They do have a gym there too for the patients to provide exercise. Other than that, we do have some of the other representatives that will help us with free diabetes classes there at Monzeriagis.
Now, how does the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association kind of get involved when someone might call you for help and say, hey, you know, I've just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but I can't afford, say, some of my medicines for that? Are you guys able to kind of get involved and help people out, maybe kind of direct them in the right path to get the medicines to help them?
Absolutely. We have a ton of information over at the office that we have. We have diet classes. We have a bunch of presentations from experts monthly.
So you have quite a bit going on. Now, why is it so important for people here in the Valley to be aware of diabetes and the disease?
Well, as you mentioned, so many people don't know that they have it, and it's very treatable. So the symptoms, all the bad things that can happen because of it, it's not necessary.
Right. Folks, if you're just tuning in right now to Inside the Valley on this Sunday morning, we're talking with a couple professionals who know a lot about diabetes. November is Diabetes Awareness Month. A lot of people here in the Valley are living day to day without even knowing that they do have this disease. However, there are some things that can be done. First, you want to make sure that you go and get tested. If you're noticing any symptoms, things like constant urination, you're thirsty a lot of the time, you're fatigued, or maybe your muscles might be hurting, you might have some aches and pains, go and get tested. You never know. It might be something completely different. You might not have diabetes, but if you do, nowadays there are medicines out there that can help cure, well, not cure, but help you with your disease for both either type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Real quickly here, let's talk about some of the things that are going on the month of November being Diabetes Awareness Month, some of the things that are out there to help people with the disease.
We have the blood sugar screening as well as a blood pressure.
Right.
We're going to have a panel of experts soon.
Okay.
That you can go and ask any of them any questions about it. It's open to the public, completely free.
Okay. And we've got a World Diabetes Day posted there on the screen. When is World Diabetes Day?
That's the one for November 14th.
November 14th.
Which is a diabetes screening.
Perfect. And you're going to have your panel of diabetes experts who are going to be talking about diabetes. They're also going to be talking about preventative measures as well, correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. And that's everything. What was that big list that you read off earlier?
Oh, it's the same. It's the November 14th event, the diabetes screening, the November 16th, which will be the McAllen Public Library, and then November 19th, the Zumba workout.
Perfect. And the Zumba workout, that's Sweat for Diabetes?
That's Sweat for Diabetes, $15 a ticket.
Fantastic. Where can people get a little bit more information?
Online. We have a Facebook page.
Perfect. You got a Facebook page.
You can also contact, again, 782-1900. It's the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association. They can also feel free to contact me at Dr. Monzeriagis at the Edinburgh office.
Fantastic. Hey, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show, talking about this very important topic here, diabetes. Of course, November is Diabetes Awareness Month. A lot of information is out there for you right now. If you do have diabetes, there's proper medicines that you can take to control it as well. Call this number if you have any more questions, 956-782-1900. That's going to do it for us for Inside the Valley on this Sunday morning. I'm Alan Campbell. Hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your week.